Sheldon Taylor answered this question by he wants his salespeople to stay hungry and stay persistent. So once the car salesman gives up, then they will stop selling cars and it will not benefit the dealership as a whole. So keeping his salesman hungry with motivations and compensation values, which I will get to later, is very, very important in leading his sales force. The next question is, how do you forecast or project for the future? Pat Coleman answers this by saying, I look at the reports sent to me from his lower managers, and then from there I get with all the members of production and my superiors a plan of forecast for the upcoming quarter and for the future. So he said communication is a big part of forecasting and projecting. They need to look at all the numbers from the previous quarters and what's been going on lately to better prepare themselves for the future and make better decisions as a company as a whole, and to keep on repeating the sales they've made. Greg Kasdorf said that the oil industry is constantly changing, at times is very, very unpredictable. So being adaptable to any situation is an important part when forecasting. So being flexible and adapting is very important through the sales team in the oil industry. Secondly, he does the same as Pat Coleman. He gathers all the results, and Easton has a meeting with their board members to get ready for the future. So as you see, a big part of being a sales manager is all about communication, and the forecasting projecting is a big part of that. What compensation methods do you use and how do you keep them motivated? Is another question I asked. Pat Coleman says, because we're such a large company, we mainly use monetary compensation methods, such as commission on each sale with quarterly and yearly bonuses if they do well. The greatest way to keep them motivated is a constant reminder that Cintas hires from within the company and promotions are out there. Since Cintas is, like I said, is so confident in their sales training program, they want to remind that they will hire from the inside, and then promotions are available if you do perform well, and that should be enough to motivate any employee, they believe. Greg Kasdorf says that our sales team knows each other very well because they're not as big as a company. We do use commission bonuses and other monetary compensations. However, we stress team. Like I said, the motto of Eastern Oil is Team Eastern, and offer great compensation if the team as a whole achieves the goals we set. And that's the biggest way they feel to get all their sales reps working together. And once they work as a unit, then they believe that they will make more sales and always reach their goal. How do you evaluate your employees' performance? Sheldon Taylor and Grace Kadorf answer this question basically the same way. We look at two parts. One, the overall numbers and the basic performance, and that helps them see how they did. What do the numbers say? Are they performing well? Are they not? Are they helping the company? Are they not? Where can they improve? But these numbers can be skewed. That's why the second part they look at is their attitude. If their salesman has a bad attitude, he's not persistent, he's not hungry more, he's given up, that could be the reason why their numbers are low and they need to move on and find another person to fill his role. So it's a big two-part key on evaluating your employee's performance. One is the numbers, the second is overall attitude. And usually they like to bring them in meetings. The sales team meeting is the best way, like I said, communication, to figure out if the numbers are lining up right with the employee's attitude or what's going on. What are the challenges to being a sales manager and what are the rewards? Pat Coleman said the biggest challenge is staying ahead or not falling behind. He says, because I oversee so many people, it is very hard to stay organized and communicate at times. He says, obviously the biggest reward is monetary, but also be his own boss. But as I said, since Cintas is such a large Fortune 500 corporation, he oversees the entire Midwest. That's a lot of sales team that he has to go through at days, and he said it can get very, very stressful keeping up with all the sales teams and making sure they know what they're doing. And communicating out is a very important process. Sheldon Taylor says the biggest challenge is quite simple, that is managing the salesman. He says many salesmen start off with great attitude and desire, but quickly it fades. So the biggest job is to keep them motivated and to be a true leader, each member of the sales team. He says the greatest reward is the ability to make important decisions and be your own boss at such a young age.